I am going to make this a short video because I'm about to start work. Excited because I'm getting back into that energy of early starts. I'm kind of laughing because I realized you got to be careful when you set an expectation as somebody who's an early riser and who gets to things before it's expected. That then becomes a new expectation, and if you start changing that too much, people are like, "Hey, wait a minute." Either way, I'm happy to get back to that. And like I've just been feeling I might do some longer videos about this, but for right now I just wanted to come and say like so today is the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde in Pisces beginning. So in a few weeks we will have that Mercury retrograde in Pisces coming in. And the last time that we had this specifically was in 2020. And it was definitely like a return of the exes sort of thing. But I'm sensing this is more of a wider thing. It's not like exes does not just have to be romantic partners. It's like family stuff, community stuff, wider collective stuff, and personal stuff, friends, family, things like that. And a lot of this energy is kind of this like Mercury will bring back in various situations and things that we either have left or have like stayed in and be like, is this like, do you still want what you say you want? Here's a pivot point. Do you want to change directions? Do you want to go a different way? Do you want to go back? Do you want to, and for the things that come to you that are like, you're like, why is this happening again? I've worked so hard to get away from this. It's the thinking that you need to look at, right? And for those of you that already understand that part, then you'll know like this is old momentum. It's a chance to reaffirm the direction you want to go in, the trajectory you want to go in. And for me, like, I mean, Mercury retrogrades used to be one of those like, oh no, but now it's more one of those like, it's definitely a sacred time. I have respect for it. Totally respect Mercury because it like for as small as it is, it has a lot of influence over us on Earth. Um, and so, like, I definitely respect it, though I'm not in a place where it's like, it's more like, okay, all right. I know that Mercury is definitely connected to some trickster energy, like Loki and things like that. Though I know that there is, like, if you can get to a space of gratitude and playfulness and, like, work towards inner peace and you can write it. You just like I was just talking with my boys about it. Like be in a space where you're comfortable pivoting, where you're comfortable like if something happens, like say tech starts going funny, like okay, so these are reset moments, these are rebirth moments, these are okay moments, right? Same thing with, if you change directions in personal connections or communities or jobs or housing or things like that, like this is a good time. And if you need a restart on things, although they say it's not good to necessarily start new projects in Mercury retrograde, it is okay to continue on with ones that were already happening beforehand. Now, granted, if you can wait to get through the pre-shadow, the actual retrograde, and the post-shadow, that is generally better. Though, anything that was already happening before, seeds that were already planted, projects you were already working on, you should be fine in those, and just remember to flow with things. Though I'm also like I feel really called to both the triple conjunction going on and the Pluto retrograde coming in. It's definitely like we've like Pluto. I believe this will be the last Pluto retrograde in Capricorn for a number of years. I don't know how many years, but Pluto doesn't move through the signs quite as fast as the rest of them because astrology takes it from a point of view of the Earth being the central focus, and Pluto is very far away from us. So the way we would see it in the constellations, it stays there a lot longer than the closer planets. And but like when you see that energy, like Capricorn, it's funny in its evolved state. It's very like honorable. It's very high integrity, things like that. And in its unevolved energy, it's very egoic. Like and think like King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles reversed sort of thing. Like it's very egoic. It's very like materialistic and things like that. And both evolved and unevolved has to do with social hierarchy, social architecture, things like that. So like it and having the planet go into retrograde doesn't necessarily mean we go into unevolved energies, but it does mean that there will be a focus on those those, that shadow and that light, the two sides of the coin. And having that mix in with a stellium of Pisces energy, with a lot of planets even going retrograde in Pisces. Like Pisces is that energy of like imagination and spirituality and like that feel good hippie sense, and yet also like the individuality but also fitting in within the collective. It's that, especially in its evolved energy, as that like really positive space of manifestation and imagination and childhood and things like that. And in its unevolved energy, it can be that like rose colored glasses and sitting around brooding about things too much, and like being in a place of like overly focused on, like not overly focused on dreams, but like being too dreamy about your dreams. And then back in evolved energy, it's about pursuing your dreams and things like that, like, you know knowing that there is a certain magic connection in the world that like in many ways defies the reality of things. Like Tony Robbins is one of my favorite examples of like evolved Pisces energy, and like obviously he's run the whole gamut of different life experiences, some good, some not. um, but I'm feeling called to line that up, both with the fact that we're coming into, on the countdown of 21 months, into the 14th month, which 14 is Temperance card, right? And it breaks down to 5, the Hierophant, right? And it feels like, while there is definitely some of that Temperance, like, weight energy, it's not the same sort of weight energy. It's more like, wait for it, legend, dairy, or what, how does he do it? Legend, wait for it, wait for it, dairy, right? How I Met Your Mother. Say Barney Stinson. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But it like, for some people, you're gonna notice them frustrated by waiting. But when you get approached by that waiting energy, get excited, because it's one of those. It usually means that good things are about to happen. And especially if you can hold at least a none, like, I want to say either a neutral gratitude state, or like just above that. If you're having troubles with just above that, like a positive expectation, doesn't have to be a fanciful positive expectation. Just know that things will turn out better than you expect, and happen sooner than you believe, and be better than you expected, that sort of thing. And we do have Uranus in there doing some interesting things with Neptune, and they're both in Pisces too. Or well, Uranus might still be in Taurus, but I think it is in Pisces. You can double check me on that. But either way, I know that there is a lot of this, like this beautiful Piscean stellium in there that definitely fits in with that, like sort of Walt Disney like energy that a lot of people, it's like Walt Disney and Mother Teresa, and like, different. I want to say some, not Rosa Parks. Who is the gal? I don't know why I'm blanking her name. The gal that led the night train to save the slaves. She was gonna be on. She was gonna replace one of the presidents on the bill. I don't know why I cannot remember her name, but I know you know who I'm talking about, or you can look her up. Um, and like lining up with that temperance energy, like temperance is also alchemy, right? So when you were in those states of like having to be patient, or wait and things, like take that as a space to stop and think, like, what do I want? Like when you remove the filters of what other people think you should want, when you remove the space of like, what am I allowed to want? Like, what do you want? When you just think about what you actually want. If you had the money, if everyone was happy about it, you could have anything you want. What do you want? Like, and start getting into a process. If I may recommend, this is something that I've started and am continuing, of writing down, like, every month, like, what do you want, and if you can, like, do it every week too. It doesn't have to be a long thing. Just get into the process of it, because this will help you with the alchemy of, one, those emotional energies, because those are your rocket fuel of manifestation, right? And get into that space of like, oh, like, this is one of those temperance moments. This is one of those waiting moments. This is one of those hangman moments. What can I learn in this moment that will help me get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing? Um, yeah, it feels like it's definitely this energy of like being unbound, which is a word that keeps coming up too. And there was I had realized in the previous years, there was a lot of energy of like bound, being in a bind, things like that. And it feels like, especially with the energy of like, quarantine ending and things like that, there's going to be this like unbound energy, and we're going to experience well, the funhouse mirrors of that, like the distortions and the shadows and things like that of being unbound, and then like also the positive side of that, like the freedom, the independence, the removal of restrictions and stuff like that. And as I put in the community section, this is also like, because especially with Pluto retrograde and Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of revealing of secrets, revealing of conspiracies, things like that, stuff that's coming out. So like, you know, I guess enjoy the show, and make sure that you're in a space of humility and being humble when it's you, and same thing with others. Be as graceful as you possibly can be, and make sure to check back in this channel, and I'll try to keep you updated on energies coming in and releasing and things like that. So until then, hope you have a great day.